and welcome everyone to the TBM crew. Today I'm so happy to have with me Alejandro Cohen Arazi, who's the filmmaker and director of the Unburied that I've made the review. So you already know this film. In Spanish, El Cadáver Insepulto. How are you, Alejandro?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for this conversation.
No, thank you for being here with me because I loved your movie. It was so interesting.
Thanks. It's very nice. It's very nice.
Yes, I
You're the
would
one. You are the one who like it.
I would like people to know why your film is a bit different. It's not the average horror film, and I think it's very influenced by your culture, your folklore, the kind of horror that we live, because me too. Here. So can you explain a bit what kind of films do you do? What tone in horror do you use?
Well, this is my only example of a horror film. This is my first feature in fiction.
Okay.
Uh, I am a documentary filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I am a filmmaker, but all my previous works are documentary films,
Okay.
and I like my previous documentary film
Mm-hmm.
is called Cáncer de Máquina. In English, is
Huh?
Machine Cancer. It is a
Okay.
documentary film. It's also a rural film. It's about a salt flat in
Yeah.
the province of Buenos Aires. And as a documentary, it has some hint of horror
Mm-hmm.
in the music because I portray the nature, and you know that sentence that nature is scary. Well, that movie has a lot of nature scary things, but
Yeah.
I am not. The horror films have a very particular crowd
Yeah.
audience. You know,
Yeah.
they're very big fans of horror and they consume a lot of
Yes.
horror films. I am not that guy. I'm started to yeah I am started to write a story
Yeah.
about a guy who reunites with his
Yeah.
siblings, his family, and it happened to be a horror film. I didn't have the intention to when I started to write to say I want to make a horror film because I'm a big fan of the genre.
Yes.
I like all cinema. So I think when you say this is not like that is very particular film or is
Mm-hmm.
different to the I think it's because of that because I didn't thought about uh, what I had to do to make a horror film.
Hmm.
You know,
That's very
I
interesting. So what was your first intention then with the film? How did it turn into horror?
I wanted to talk about the burden of tradition, the burden
Okay.
of the
Yeah.
inheritance,
Mm-hmm.
the family mandates with the
Yes.
family, you know, uh, what you have to do with your future and what you have to respect of your past
Mm-hmm.
to continue. And all that is a burden.
Yes.
And I wanted to talk about that.
Hmm. I like it
And
because
it's an
sorry.
ordeal. It is an ordeal. It could be the same premise about the burden of past. It
Yeah.
could be a drama, a family drama. In this case, it turned out to be like a horror thing.
Yes. I think our audience, which is mostly American and from the UK, I think that can find your film very absorbing and very thrilling because what you're talking about, the family burdens, it's not the same for them than for us. I think that we have, like you say, a kind of obscure part, and you need to go on with your family burdens. It's like a generational courses you have to keep up with. It doesn't matter how dark they get. I mean, la familia è tutto. So you just need to follow through with that, and I think that's amazing that you turned that into a horror film that at the beginning it doesn't seem so, because I didn't understand anything at the beginning, which I have the feeling this is what you wanted. because then everything makes sense. Well, makes sense depending on how you play it in your mind, because it can have different visions. But I think that's so great, because it doesn't seem that it's gonna turn that dark. So is that something, once you knew it was going to be something that stepped on horror, is that something you did on purpose, or did it just flew like that?
No, I it's on purpose. I really wanted to tell a point of view, the
Okay.
point of view of someone who doesn't know what's going on around him.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the point of view that I wanted to share with the audience. So
Yes.
if the main character doesn't know what's going on and is going to find out slowly through the film, I
Yeah.
wanted to the audience to live the same experience, to share the experience with the main character, with Maximiliano.
See.
And that's why, because other thing that I really don't like sometimes about the let's call it entertainment films,
Mm-hmm.
is that everything is so underlined. It's
Yeah.
like the filmmaker or the scriptwriter is always pointing with a finger what you have to watch, what
Yes.
the all the information has to be all the time on the screen.
Yeah, it's
And
predictable.
exactly, and there is no intellectual challenge for the audience at
Mm-hmm.
all, because
No.
sometimes movies just sit down and be entertained, and I don't want to think about what's going on, or to think about the possibilities
Yeah.
of what is possibly going on. And I wanted to, it was not intentional. I wasn't writing the script thinking I want to do this.
Yeah.
It is the way I like to tell a story.
But I mean, you did it so well. Because
Thanks.
I found myself at the beginning of the beginning and maybe like half the film, thinking, but what's happening? I mean, why don't just tell him? Because it's like I don't, I mean, I cannot say anything because I don't want to spoil the film, but it's like he's just making questions and no one is answering. Why would, like, even when he has I liked a lot the first scene he has with the priest in the church, that he seems at the beginning of that conversation, he seems like the only person that can understand, and suddenly it turns dark, like even his face changes to that. I mean, I think that the acting is terrific, terrific. And I in that moment I thought, hmm. So I I think that you really got to put together the silent kind of terror of a family curse, a family burden, something that it doesn't seem like that from outside, and the psychological side of horror that maybe you can find in other movies, but as you say, it's used badly because it's so predictable. So I really loved it. I think it has a lot of amazing things. You should keep on doing horror. Do you have more projects into horror?
Yes, I am from Argentina.
Yeah.
There is I think Argentina has a very good film industry. It is very small. It is very
Yeah.
small, and it is really a struggle to make a movie here
Yeah.
in good productions
Yeah.
with an acceptable production.
I
And
understand.
yes, I have projects, but unfortunately, I cannot tell right now, yes, I'm going to make this film that I'm
Yeah.
thinking about, or that I wrote, because to get the money to make a film. Well, I know it's hard around the world, but particularly Argentina has a very difficult economical situation that is permanently bad economical situation, and to plan a production for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it is an ordeal. And yes, I really want to continue with horror.
You're awesome at it. You should.
Well, yeah. I hope to continue in this path. Regarding the church scene that you told me, and you mentioned the psychological content of the characters of the stories. The church scene was much larger. Fortunately, in addition, we cut it because it was too long during filmmaking.
Okay.
And the actor Sebastián Mogordoy is the actor, an excellent actor. I am really happy with all the cast. I think all the cast is marvelous.
Awesome.
And I wanted to work with every actor to develop psychologically, to understand what's going on about this particular guy, no? And the priest, I talked a lot with Sebastián Mogordoy, and I wanted to explain the development of that conversation, what's going on under the surface.
Yeah.
And at some point, he was like the click of the idea, and he said, "Oh, okay, this guy, it's a psychopath." He say about his own character. I say, yes, he's a psychopath. He's playing nice, but he always has a hidden interest, a hidden reason to talk and to convince the other. And the priest, it's a Catholic church, and the guilt is a powerful tool in Judeo-Christian religions. So that church and that scene represents the burden of guilt, the twisted game mind of guilt that you can play with someone.
Yes, I think that's an amazing work for the cast, but also for you to make them to transfer that idea, because as you say that he's a psychopath. Well, there are plenty in this movie, but he's a psychopath, and I mean, a psychopath might be able to hide it, like to manipulate and to do whatever they want with the other thoughts, but there's always a point where it's shown. There's always that moment where you see that he suddenly doesn't care about you at all, and he's there for something. So I recognize that in that scene. I even went back to watch it again. Like, there's a switch in that conversation. I thought, there, I gotcha. There, So how do you get to communicate with the actors? Because all of them have this kind of switch at some point. So how do you transfer that thought, that tone, that idea to them?
You mean in the church scene?
In the church or in any other, because, for example, the girl does exactly the same.
Yes.
In a different tone, but she is also, like at the beginning she's all sweet and kind, and then it's like, whoa. What happened here? So at some point, all of them have this tone. How do you transfer that idea to the actors?
Well, I trust a lot in the talent and in the capabilities to understand what they what the story is about and what they have to do. I'm very open to that. But we have several chats previous to the film, to the shooting and rehearsals, and I was very interested in not to understand the words, just to memorize the words and say it with that emotion or with his face or whatever.
Yeah.
But to understand what lies beneath the words. What is the intentions of the characters the interest of the characters and how they can manipulate Maximiliano, the main character. And also with Maximiliano, with the protagonist, what he wants and the resistance to face his past and his family. Has his girlfriend from he was a little boy, and and looking at the text and looking at the dialogues line to understand in this point there is a breaking point of the character, and in this point there is another breaking point because this and that happened. And the case of Anita, you know, the girl, the girlfriend is like that. Yeah, it's something that is very sweet and very passionate and very attractive to him. And there is something that he's hiding.
Yes, I think that's especially impressive in the girl, because the first time she appears, she's sweet, but not sweet. She's beyond sweet. She's like, oh, you know, like genuinely so extremely happy to find him. And I even thought, oh, you know.
Yeah.
So I think she has a very great gift acting, because I mean, it's someone that makes you wonder all the time, like, is she or not? Is she or not? And how did you choose Maximiliano? Did you know the actor beforehand? Did you? Because he's awesome. He's awesome. I loved that actor.
Well, I was extremely lucky to meet him, because I had another actor, and so, you know, it was, I don't know, like 3 weeks, like it was extremely, you know, short time to shooting.
Yeah.
The actor that I wanted to play Maximiliano say that, you know, he got off the project because he had problems with work and he couldn't do it. So yeah, I said, okay, I don't have a lead character.
Yeah.
I don't have a protagonist, and I have to make this movie. So what? And people around me in production, there was all the people that was around me. They are so into horror films. You know, they used to work in horror films, so they know a lot of people. And you know, it's not because I told you I came from the documentary filmmaking, so it was like I was like a stranger in that scenario, and I didn't want to make the traditional casting process. You know, that you came here with the camera, and if I like you, I pick you. You know, I thought that this is a more human thing that we have to connect, you know, to understand psychologically the character and so on. You cannot see that in a traditional casting. So they show me some pictures of, you know, the assistant crew show me photos of people and little videos, and I say, okay, let's go with this, and this. And I have 3 or 4 interviews. One of them was Maximiliano. I wanted to portray it, to understand physically how can he handle a wimp and also a strong man at the end. And he was great. He was great, and I said, okay, this is the guy. And I was very lucky. I was really lucky because he was, and he prepared an old protagonist, an old leading character in such a short time.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that in your film because he changes all the time. You know, like even the first scene, the first time I thought that about this actor, what's his name again? I can't remember.
Hermian Salomon.
Hermian, vale. In the one of the first scenes that he's like in a cafeteria or a bar or something, and he has the message from his brother that in that moment you realize that there's something dark behind that, because he's telling him, well, on that tone of, I don't know if you're gonna come or not, but I have to tell you this, you know. And when he hangs up, he's just, give me a wine. And that was a good switch, because he seemed like very worried when he heard all of that, and he seemed like gloom, you know. And suddenly he raises, give me a wine. I thought, wow, what an amazing switch of the tone, you know. Like, I think he's so good at changing
Yes.
the right in a moment, because he changes from this to that, like that, so easy. So, well, easy, no, I'm not, I don't mean easy, I mean like with ease.
Yes, of course. It seems natural.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And is he has he made any other horror films, or was
Yes.
this a new experience for him?
No, a lot of films.
Ah, yeah.
Uh, there is, yeah, he acts in a very famous Argentinian horror film called Aterrados,
Uh-huh.
Terrified. I know it was a big hit, Terrified. The director is Demian Rugna, and Demian Salomon plays a role in that part, and
Okay,
he acts.
that's so cool.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's for the horror fans in Argentina, they know his face. You know,
Okay.
horror fans in Argentina knows Demian Salmon face because he acts a lot, he plays a lot in horror films in Argentina, or in general, you know, maybe not horror but action or fantasy, you know,
Hmm.
in that circle of films.
Well, he's amazing at it. I
Yes.
mean, I think that everyone should in the community. I'm sure that people would just love his acting so much, so much. Because sometimes you watch a movie that has an amazing thread line, but you say the actors, damn, you know. So I think, I don't know. I think your film has all the specific points done right, so anyone can enjoy it, even the audience that like more action kind of horror can appreciate this film, because that dark background present all the time, even when you don't know what's happening. Like, let's go to the police station, okay, let's go. It's like, no, how let's go? You just, I mean, why would you go there? And they're just going like a happy family to the police station. I was like, what? It's you you just, it's like a roller coaster for the person who's watching it. And have you presented the film to festivals, awards?
Yes, yes, yes. The release of the film was during the pandemics.
Okay.
You know, it was during the lockdown, so the
Ah,
movie was in a lot of festivals, but I couldn't face meet the audience in another countries. It has an international premiere in Feratum Festival in Mexico.
okay.
There was a very good response there. Also in Fry Fest in London, in Ireland, in the Sant Cugat Festival in Catalonia in Spain.
Hey, really?
Yeah, actually in Sant Cugat won an award to best makeup, effects makeup.
Yeah,
It has
that's
an
awesome.
award.
I didn't know that. That's an hour away from me.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it was in cinema there. It was in cinema in
Ah,
the big screen. So
okay.
you missed the chance to,
I
which
missed
in the big
it.
screen is amazing. This film in the big screen is amazing.
I
Um,
would love to watch it. And
and there was a festival in the United States, in Philadelphia,
yeah,
that won the prize of best feature film.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it well,
awesome.
also here in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, there is a festival. It's called Buenos Aires Rojo Sangre.
Sí.
and it's the greatest festival here in Argentina of horror film. And it also has the Argentinian premiere was there. It also has an award. Mm-hmm. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy, and now I don't know, like in the beginnings of the month, this October, the movie is in. It had a commercial release in platforms on video on demand in United States, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. So now there is a new audience to enjoy this film.
That's awesome. Australia and New Zealand, you got there a huge audience.
Yes,
Really,
yes.
I work a lot with them, and they're just amazing. The horror community there, it's awesome.
Well, I think in Australia and New Zealand, well, also in North America, you can find the movie in Amazon, Apple TV, Vudu. I think it's
Vudu,
Vudu.com.
yeah, Vudu,
Yeah,
yes.
and iTunes. And well, the American distribution, the North American distributor is Horror Collective.
Yes,
And
yes.
in the Horror Collective page, you can find all the links to watch the movie.
That's awesome. Well, I will link everything below, everything, because I think everyone should check out your movie. It's very different, and that's what it's difficult to find. That's what's difficult. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy I came across it from the Horror Collective. Exactly, that they sent me the screener. I'm always game for everything. Everything. Do you want to? Yes, I want. It's still, I haven't read it. I want to do it, just like with the games and all of that. But rarely you find something that it's really, you know. So
Thank you, thank you.
I'm so happy. Well, I was going to say I'm so happy with your movie. You're happy with your movie. I'm so happy I've watched your movie. And I'm going to share it everywhere. I'm going to do everything I can to share your movie everywhere. Yeah. Even more now that I was telling you before that we're opening doors into Spain, which I think it's a great audience for your film because we kind of connect.
You can see it's in Spain. It's in Spain in I don't know. I think there is, or in Amazon in Spain, or
in Prime Video on Amazon, yeah.
Or there is a video on demand of Movistar.
Okay, yeah, Movistar, yes. Oh, it's on
I think you
Movistar.
can find.
Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Since last year is available in Spain. I can't remember in which platform or in which website you can find it,
No,
but
it's
it is in
awesome.
Spain.
If it's
It
in
is in Spain.
Movistar, anyone can access it. Anyone, because that's that's the phone company here by excellence. So it's
check it
it's
out.
amazing.
El Cadáver Insepulto
See?
in Spain, you can find it.
Then I will link it. I will look for it and link it because now we want to bring all the content to Spain, and I think that they are gonna love this movie. Now it's been the festival in Sitges, the horror fantastic festival on Sitges that has a lot of awards, and it's a huge thing here. And so it's a good moment. It's a good moment to talk about horror here in Spain. Well, everywhere because it's Halloween, yeah, I know, but here especially it's the only big event on horror in Spain. It's been the past weekend, so all the horror fans are like bubbling.
Okay. I think well, you as a Spanish person, you can relate with
Yes.
this film because, well, Argentina and Spain is, we are like this in history and culture, and there is
Yes,
a
we're
lot of
very
things
similar.
that we share, and I think the Spanish people will enjoy a lot of things, and I am surprised because when I read critics from people who is not Iberoamericana, the people that is not from Spain or Portugal or Latin America, they have a very different point of view. And I really like that because they see things, they enjoy things, or they think about many things that I never thought about.
Yeah.
You know, I spoke with an immigrant in the United States that is a journalist, and he really liked the movie because he was thinking about his own history as an immigrant. And he said, when I return to my country, all the time I return to my country, I speak with my family, and they are always different. I do not recognize them. And I said, wow, that's a new world for me, because I never thought that this movie could, relate with different experiences.
Yes.
So I think it's a very open film. It's a very open film to all the audience in different countries.
You're perfectly right, because the cultural part is so important, so important. And here, as we say that we are so connected because our families, our culture is very similar, very much. We can understand that film, but people from other countries can feel things differently. So I think it's going to be, I'm already thinking everyone I'm going to send this movie to. I need my reviewers to see this movie, to watch this movie. No, and I really, anything I can do to help you out, just let me know, because I think this is a big project and it's different, and I think that our countries need some help in this part, because you said that Argentina is in a bad financial moment. Spain is just the same. People here are struggling a lot, and all the money the government can give to art and cinema and all of it's all just cut off. So people are struggling a lot to do things here. So I'm really want to do what I can for you, for your film, and for your future films, because you need more of this.
You're an angel. Thank you.
Okay, then, do you have any message for our audience?
Enjoy the Unburied wherever it's available, and hopefully in this video you will find the links to watch the movie. And you can find me. I am Biafra Films, Biafra Films. You can find Biafra Films in Facebook or Twitter, and you are welcome to write me if it's anything pleasant or
Otherwise,
respectful.
just leave me alone.
Or respectful. Always respectful. That's the only thing I ask. And I will be very happy to share impressions or thoughts about the film in social media. So you're welcome to write.
That's awesome. Then thank you so much, Alejandro, for your time. And I hope we talk again.
Yes, me too. Me too. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will.
Yes. Okay, then good luck with all your projects, and have an amazing day, an amazing week.
The same to you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.